Hey everyone, Dominic here with Loon Outdoors. Today I'm going to show you how to tie a very simple surf perch fly. This pattern works well when tied off the back of a clouser minnow or off of a tag in front of a clouser when targeting the surf and beaches with a sinking line. So in the vise today we have a 2546 saltwater hook by Core Premium Fly Hooks, powered by Arex. This is a size 6, but any saltwater hook in a size 4 or 6 will work well for this. In the bobbin today we have some fluorescent orange A-dot uni thread, but again, any bright orange thread will work well for this fly. So go ahead and take the thread back to the point of the hook, and we're going to start with the tail. And for the tail we're going to use some fluorescent orange crystal flash. So go ahead and take about 8 to 10 strands of that. Tie that in right at the point of the hook. And give it just a wrap or two. And then double that material over. Continue working your way back towards the bend of the hook. And then go ahead and trim that tail off at about 1 inch in length. Maybe a little more, a little less. So from there, we're going to form our body. And for the body, we're going to use some fluorescent orange Edge Bright. So with this Edge Bright, you're going to want to trim off a nice narrow strip of it. Maybe about 4 inches in length, maybe a little longer. Give yourself plenty of material to work with. And we're going to go ahead and tie that in right at the base of the tail. And I find the Edge Bright to be a little tricky, so lay a couple of loose wraps on top and then cinch it down. And you're going to want to be sure to really secure this Edge Bright onto the tail, because we're going to apply a lot of pressure as we're stretching this Edge Bright to form the body. So get that nice and locked in, and work your thread up towards the eye of the hook. And we're going to want to stop about 1/3 of the way down the shank where we're going to put the eyes. So take that Edge Bright. You want to pull it very tightly as you make counter wraps and form the body of this fly. And when you get about 1/3 of the way down the shank, go ahead and tie that off nice and cleanly. Pull that Edge Bright tight. And from here we're going to add some eyes. I like to use some medium-sized bead chain eyes. You could throw some dumbbell eyes on here if you want to get a little deeper. I think that most of the depth you're going to get comes from the line that you choose to throw. But these medium-sized bead chain eyes will help keep you down there and are still really easy to cast. So go ahead and lay these eyes right on top of the hook shank using figure-8 wraps. Give it quite a few to make sure it's really locked in there. Make sure they're nice and even. And then we're going to give it a few wraps under the eyes and above the hook shank to really lock it in. And go ahead and leave the thread behind the eyes. Add a little UV clear fly finish. I'm using thin here, but flow works just as well. Just a drop between the eyes and a drop under the eyes. This fly is going to be bouncing around in the sand, so this adds a bit of durability there. And go ahead and bake that in. Next, we're going to form the head of our fly. And for this, I like to use just some bright orange dubbing. I believe this is some STS trilobal and bright orange. But any bright orange dubbing will work well for this. So go ahead and take a pinch of that. And we're going to lay this into a small dubbing loop behind the eyes. So go ahead and form a dubbing loop with our tool. And lay that dubbing in there. And take her for a spin. Take our dubbing brush, kind of tease it out a little bit. So from here, we're going to give it a few wraps behind the eyes and then figure eight over the eyes. And while you're doing this, continually direct that material towards the back of the hook. Give it a few wraps in front of the eyes. And then go ahead and tie her off. And there you have it. You have a little brush at the end. Very simple and easy to tie, very effective surf perch fly that I'm sure would work well for other species. Take it to your local beach, your local pond, give it a shot. Thanks everyone for watching. Tight lines.